Hello students, welcome to another video on speeches. In the previous video, we understood how the society develops a context for a particular speech or piece of literature. And today we are going to analyze a speech which was influenced by the social context. In the previous video, we also talked about Emma Watson's speech, and we shall analyze that today. Now, what is social context? It is essential for understanding the context to interpret literature and speeches. It sets motivations, beliefs, and experiences shaping an author's work. Now, let's talk about Emma Watson. She is a German actress and an activist. She gave a powerful speech on gender equality. Let's see the speech and understand that. It was delivered on gender equality at the United Nations headquarters in the New York City on 20th September 2014. She advocated for gender equality and emphasized the need for collective action to combat gender discrimination globally. Now let's see social factors and context that influenced Emma Watson's speech, her thoughts, her arguments, and the words that she used in the speech. Few aspects that Emma covered in her speech are: first is global gender inequality, and the second is traditional gender roles and stereotypes. Third is intersectionality in gender issues. Fourth, he for she initiative and collective action. Fifth is personal experiences reflecting societal norms. And the next is cultural resistance and backlash. And the last is urgency for systemic change. Now let's analyze all these points one by one and get evidences from her speech. The first point is global gender inequality. Here she says the persistent gender disparities, they are worldwide, particularly in education, wages, and leadership roles. The evidence here is, I think it is right that socially I am afforded the same respect as men. But sadly, I can say that there is no one country in the world where all women can expect to receive these rights. No country in the world can yet say that they have achieved gender equality. Now the next point is traditional gender roles and stereotypes. The speech addresses the societal expectations that confine both men and women in perpetuating inequality. The quote from speech would be, I've seen young men suffering from mental illness, unable to ask for help for fear it would make them look less macho. We don't often talk about men being imprisoned by gender stereotypes, but I can see that they are, and that when they are free, things will change for women as a natural consequence. And the next point here is intersectionality in gender issues. Here Watson emphasizes that gender equality is not just a women's issue, but a broader human rights issue affecting everyone involved. The quote can be, She advocates for men's active involvement, stating, "We don't often talk about men being imprisoned by gender stereotypes, but I can see that they are imprisoned." Now the next point is he for she initiative and collective action. The speech introduces the he for she campaign, encouraging men and boys to join the fight for gender equality. The quote here could be, "We want to end gender inequality, and to do this we need everyone to be involved." But what stood out for me the most was that only 30% of her audience were male. How can we affect change in the world when only half of it is invited or they feel welcome to participate in the conversation? Men, I would like to take this opportunity to extend you formal invitation. Gender equality is your issue too. And her next topic is personal experiences reflecting societal norms. Here she uses her own experience as a woman to shed light on everyday sexism and its impact on the self-worth. Her speech says, "I started questioning gender-biased assumptions when an 8. I was confused at being called bossy. Because I wanted to direct the plays we would put up for our parents, but the boys were not. When at 14, I started being sexualized by certain elements of the press. When at 15, my girlfriends started dropping out of their sport teams because they didn't want to appear muscly. When at 18, my male friends were unable to express their feelings. I decided I was a feminist, and this seemed uncomplicated to me." Now let's see the next point: cultural resistance and backlash. The speech acknowledges the resistance that often accompanies calls for gender equality due to deeply ingrained cultural norms. The point from the speech would be sexualized by certain elements of the media at a young age. Now let's see the next point, that is urgency for systemic change. Watson emphasizes the pressing need for societal structures and policies to evolve towards equity. Now the quote from speech would be, "It's a freedom issue. I want men to take up this mantle so their daughters, sisters and mothers can be free from prejudice, but also so that their sons have permission to be vulnerable and human too." And now it's the task time. You have to watch Emma Watson's speech and then answer the following questions. That's all for today. See you in the next video. Till then, happy learning.